USS Perry was a brig commissioned by the United States Navy prior to the American Civil War. She was tasked by the Navy for various missions, including those related to diplomatic tensions with Paraguay, the Mexican-American War, the slave trade, and the American Civil War. Perry was launched in May 1843 by the Norfolk Navy Yard and commissioned 13 October 1843, Comdr.Samuel F. DuPont in command. Pre-Civil War round-the-world cruise. The new brig departed Norfolk, Virginia, 3 December 1843, called at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and proceeded via Cape Town, South Africa, and the Straits of Sunda to Macau, arriving 27 August 1844. Though she embarked Caleb Cushing, the first American commissioner to China, and sailed via Hong Kong for the coast of Mexico, arriving Mazatlan, 4 November. 4 days later she debarked Cushing at San Blas, for an overland journey to Vera Cruz, to catch a ship home. Perry then sailed via Honolulu from the Society Islands and the Marquesas, where she helped win respect and fair dealing for American whalers. She departed Tahiti 16 April 1845, visited Valparaiso, Chile, sailed round the Horn, reached Norfolk, Virginia, 17 September, and decommissioned on the 25th. Recommissioned for the war with Mexico. Perry recommissioned 16 May 1846, 3 days after war was declared on Mexico, and 4 days later sailed for the Gulf of Mexico to blockade Mexican ports. However, after leaving Havana bound for Charleston, NC, she endured the hurricane of October 10, 1846, driven over the reefs at Bahia Honda Key with every person on board surviving. She was kedged off and returned to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for repairs 4 December 1846. Capturing ships engaged in the slave trade. Perry got underway from Philadelphia 16 May 1847 to join the Brazil squadron protecting American interests between Rio de Janeiro, Brazil and Buenos Aires, Argentina. Informed that suspected slavers were bound for the coast of Africa under false papers, she seized American bark D. Richardson off Rio de Janeiro 16 December. 2 days later, she took American brig Independence. Investigation proved that both ships had been engaged in the slave trade and were sent to New York City under prize cruise. Perry returned from the Brazil squadron to Norfolk 10 July 1849 and decommissioned 4 days later. Recommissioned to fight the continuing slave trade. Perry recommissioned 17 November 1849 and sailed for the west coast of Africa to help suppress the slave trade, but for a period in ordinary in New York City, 26 December 1851 to 27 April 1852. The brig continued this duty until returning to Norfolk 14 July 1854 and decommissioning on the 20th. Recommissioned to show a naval force in Paraguay, with the exception of a month in commission, 20 March to 27 April 1855. Perry remained in ordinary at Norfolk until recommissioning 21 January 1858. She departed Hampton Roads 15 February to serve in the expedition, commanded by Flag Officer William B. Shubrick, protesting an unprovoked attack on US water which 1 February 1855. The task force arrived at Asunción, Paraguay 29 January 1859 and quickly won James B. Bolan, the American Special Commissioner, a respectful hearing. Sea power here achieved what 4 years of diplomacy had failed to obtain: an apology, an indemnity for the family of an American sailor killed in the fight, and a commercial treaty advantageous to the United States. The brig returned to New York 5 June 1860 and decommissioned 10 days later. Recommissioned to serve the Union Navy in the Civil War, Perry remained inactive until the outbreak of the Civil War, recommissioning the 23rd of April. Under the command of Commander John J. Glasson, she headed south the same day, escorting 3 transports carrying some 3,000 troops to Annapolis, Maryland, where they landed on the 25th to reinforce the 7th Infantry Regiment, then moving south to reinforce the nation's threatened capital. She then returned to New York City to prepare for duty as a blockader and steamed into Hampton Roads the 18th of May to join the newly established Atlantic blockading squadron. A week later, she stood out from Fort Monroe and headed south for Fernandina, Florida. On the last day of May, she captured Confederate blockade runner Hannah M. Johnson about 15 miles southeast of Cape Lookout, North Carolina. The brig took Confederate privateer Show Tank the 3rd of June, and subsequently turned 2 British ships away from the southern coast before reaching her blockade station off the mouth of the St. Mary's River on the 11th, protecting Washington, D.C., by taking position on the Potomac. With water running low and needing repairs, Perry sailed north the 8th of July, reaching Washington on the 21st, the eve of the Union defeat in the First Battle of Bull Run. When word of the disaster reached the Washington Navy Yard, the brig moved into the Potomac River where her guns could command the approaches to Alexandria, Virginia, against a possible Confederate advance against the federal capital. A score of sailors from Perry landed to help man the batteries at Fort Ellsworth. She continued to serve in the Potomac Flotilla for the rest of the year and captured sloops Blooming Youth and Ellen Jane, showing the colors in Columbia. Late in December, Perry sailed for Aspinwall, Columbia, where she arrived the 14th of May 1862. The brig headed home the 13th of November, and decommissioned at New York the 3rd of January 1863 for repairs. Recommissioned to patrol the North Carolina coast, Perry recommissioned the 28th of February and a month later took station off New Inlet, North Carolina. On the 31st of March she captured schooner Sioux, and on the 1st of May she took schooner Alma, attempting to slip into Beaufort laden with salt and herring from Bermuda. She sailed north the 13th of August, assigned to the South Atlantic blockade following repairs at Boston, Massachusetts. The brig joined the South Atlantic blockading squadron at Port Royal, South Carolina, the 15th of November, after serving off Murrells Inlet, North Carolina, until the 15th of December and off Charleston, South Carolina, during the siege. She sailed the 28th of January 1864 to blockade station off Fernandina, Florida, where she remained until the end of the Civil War. Post-Civil War decommissioning and sale. Perry decommissioned at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the 29th of April and was sold at public auction the 10th of August 1865.